Okay, so in this video, we're gonna go through what you're paying for. So like if you sign up for a coach listing, like whether it's free or it's paid, you will kind of get this. Yeah, so display wise, it will look the same, but technology wise will be very different. So if you have like the free listing, you don't have like Google Index and other like library indexing and stuff like that. So like you don't have all the like search engine optimization. So if someone like searches for you, like let's say like oh I'm looking for a coach in this area, blah 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 blah, and then like you enter everything, and by right you should pop up in that search. You probably won't pop up because you're not indexed, but regardless, because now like the AI search and search is still a developing area. So like as long as you upload, right, there is a good chance that you will just be served if there's no other like answer to that query. So like let's say I search like, oh, I want to coach in Singapore for like, I don't know, rhythmatic gymnastics or something like that. Like if it's very specific and like you already like upload the info, then like yeah, it's probably gonna be served to you. But like if you're doing something more like, common and you know like um if you're a gym instructor or something, then like probably it won't come up. But like like there's the paid and free version, and we went through that in the previous video. So now we're going to like run through kind of like what you'll be paying for and what it'll look like. So this is an example of a coach listing. So like after you like input all your information, it will like come out like this. So yeah, so this is the profile photo. This is not me. It's just some like AI like version, and then this is my name, and then this is the location, right? So like who you are, where you're at, and then this is the number of paid sessions. So if you have no paid sessions, it'll say zero. Then if you have like a lot of paid sessions, like like 100 paid sessions, then it serves as a um assertion of your professionalism, and like that you're a legit coach. Yeah, so essentially, like if there was like a bunch of like okay, let's say there's like 7,000 coaches in Singapore, for example, and then only like maybe 20 have paid sessions. So then like you'll be like, oh, I will go with them. So it's not like a review thing. Like you can't buy the reviews because the paid sessions, like people actually have to pay you for the session. Yeah, and we don't really do like reviews like 5-star reviews or whatever, because like people can be quite uh derisive. So and also like other coaches can just I mean like, oh, this person is not so good, that kind of thing. So I think like a numerical factual figure is just the paid session. So like the more you get paid, the more you do work, then the more authoritative you are. Yeah, so like the whole like review thing is a bit you know like I mean when it comes to services lah. Okay, then there's also like the member scenes. So it's like when you sign up. So like the length and like the age of your page, confers some prominence. So like let's say if I were to like sign up and like I'm like a new coach and I have like no sessions, so it'll be a bit harder to trust me. But then like if I like I signed up like a year ago and I have like 100 sessions and that kind of thing, then you're like, oh, like this guy's probably legit. Yeah. So I mean, so that's why we use like sort of like experience bound metric figures as opposed to like just random ratings. Yeah, so the specialties is kind of like the sports that you have some expertise in. So if you're a coach and you're a badminton coach, then you just be like badminton. Then if you're like like a strength trainer, then you put gym. But then like if you do both like badminton and gym, then you'll be like, oh, badminton and gym, that kind of thing. So like if you're like futsal or like your football or whatever, then you just put it here. So the specialty is basically like what sport you uh, s- have some expertise in, and then the status is basically like when you were last online. So this is quite important to understand like whether the coach is, like using the site or like whether they're active, because some coaches they might be um like they might do it like a side hustle kind of thing. So they're like, oh, maybe like in the day they're an engineer and then at night they are like a gym trainer or like a hydrox race specialist, that kind of thing. But then sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to train people anymore, I just want to like eat ice cream or whatever. So the like last online is like quite useful here. Yeah, so then we have this like little feature video where you can explain like like who you are and stuff like that. So this is like the first video people see, and then you can go into cinema mode, which expand.
Whoa, 20 grams of protein. Woo! A
Yeah,
whole
there's
machine full of
always
20.
yeah. So basically like this is like a an explanation of like who you are, like a quick like, oh, I do this and I do this and I specialize in this and blah blah blah. So it's kind of like in Chinese we say like 自我介绍. It's a self-introductory video, and then there's the about. So this is like a little bio of like whoever you are. This section is quite important because AI uses this to kind of like summarize like who you are. So don't talk about like I just focus like the big points, because this is the thing that like AI is going to like serve as your explanation about who this coach is, generally speaking, right? Then this coaching philosophy is more like kind of like finding the fit for you. So if like you're a really intense person, like, and you're all about like competition prep and stuff, then obviously you have no room for error, and then like everything must be like down to the macros, down to the sleep, down to the the water intake and the sodium levels and blah 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 blah. But then like if you're like a Zumba coach and you're a bit about the vibes and like dancing is life, then it's going to be different. So this coaching philosophy is a quick sort of way to explain to the people and also to the AI about like what kind of coach you are, right? So that it covers like training intensity, motivation system, nutrition and flexibility, and adherence protocol. So like these are kind of like the big broad strokes about like who you are as a coach, right? So if like let's say I'm like a fluffy person, like I'm like extremely obese, like I'm not gonna hire a coach that has never been fat, because what do they know about losing weight? Like they've been like shredded their whole life, like that kind of thing. So like this is a good way of explaining who you are and also like how you coach. Yeah. And then this is a gear section where like you can embed different products from our store. So like let's say you're like a gym coach. So you're like, oh, this is some protein. Then you're a run coach. Then this is some like shoelaces. So there's many things that you can embed here, and you can embed up to like four things. Yeah, and then basically this is a good way for you to earn as a coach, because it's passive. Like you don't have to do anything. Like if like let's say I click on this, like I'm a client and I click on this and then I buy, then like you as the coach earn 10% of my purchase less the shipping, and I as the client also get 10% off. So it's like everybody wins. We're like, oh. Yeah, so that's nice. Yeah, so this section is the media section. So this is a picture, right? And then this is a video.
Effervescent is a game changer.
Yeah, so basically, this media kind of like gallery section is sort of a quick visual way of explaining yourself, because like basically the AI uh, currently doesn't know how to digest and translate media well, right? So like basically like whatever you say, it will just transcribe it and they'll be like, ah yeah, this is what I said in the video. But you know, like from human to human, you're like, okay, yeah, you know, like if let's say I'm Chinese, which I am, right? So then I'm like explaining how lor mee is like not great for weight loss, but it's great for bulking. Like, you know, then it's like as a Chinese person explaining how I can make lor mee high protein and not so caloric dense and good for like maybe endurance sports. Like that is a huge advantage to me as a coach. But you know, the AI doesn't know what lor mee is, and they're like, oh, what is caloric? I mean, like, oh, I don't even know how to tell time. You know, like the AI doesn't know. So like this section, this media section, is you know, quite like useful for human to human communication, which is like funny, right? But yeah, it's like a thing. Okay, so then we come to services. So like this services is broken up into sports. So like in, you know, previously we said like, oh, this guy is like doing badminton and gym. So they have like badminton and gym skills. So like let's say if you have like more services within badminton, like so you don't just do private lessons, you do like group coaching or you do like skills correction or like online coaching or whatever, you can like you can put it here. We will go into the um, setup and stuff like in another video, but this is just kind of like a run through of what's possible. Yeah, so we also have like a picture and video embed for the service because yeah, so we have some default services like private lessons and you know, like group coaching and stuff like that. But we also have like a section where you can like just fill in like whatever you want because some coaches maybe they do modeling or they do like nutrition or you know whatever, like you know they like we are not just one dimensional, we can do more than one thing. So maybe the coach has other stuff, so we just gave them like a, a photo and like a video section. So like let's say if your service is very complicated or you want to like, you know, like um explain more, then you can attach a video or like a picture if you want. Yeah. If you don't want, then it'll just appear like this. Yeah. Then you can book now, right? So you can like, oh, this is your availability, and then you can book whatever. Then you can request for custom timing. So so sometimes um like clients they want to book you or like they don't know if they want to book you, so and then you offer them like a price of like $100 per hour, and then you're like, oh, you know, I don't know if I want to pay $100 an hour. But then like maybe they're like, oh, you know, I would try for $10 an hour. But then like you cannot keep like offering free classes, right, for like $10 an hour, because then you'll be earning $10 an hour, but then your rate is $100 an hour. So what we can do for you is that when you click like request custom timing and inquire, right, there is a back end sort of like setup for them to request it, and then they'll be like, oh, you know, like I'm willing to pay $10, and then like I need to find another 90 people. I mean 9 people to pay $10. Um, you know, for a group booking. So like it is set up, but I'm not going to like go into it because it's like quite complicated, and then I have to like go into like the payments and it's like a lot of work. But basically, if like uh they can pay now, so like they can just book now. So they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna book you for like 12 on like Tuesday or whatever, and then they're like pay, and then you just turn up, and then you know you scan and you confirm that the service has been rendered, blah blah blah, and then the payment is done. Or you can inquire, right? So the inquiry will be like, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm coming, I'm bringing a friend, you know, like blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And then there's also like an option to like I don't have friends, but I want to come, you know, that kind of thing. Then it's like banked into your like inquiries. So maybe like in the future, you're like, hey, you know, like I have nine, uh, I have 9 people who want to do this now, and then like, hey, you know, you said you want to do this some time ago. Hey, you want to come? Yeah. So like basically, we consolidate all the inquiries, and the interest, and then we match it to your per hour price, and then we're like, okay, now you can do it, or you can reduce your price. Yeah, so it's basically a dynamic demand supply matching system. Yeah, I wanna like explain more, but like yeah, it's quite complicated, like, and this is like a whole section. But anyway, then this is your availability. So you can set your schedule of like when you want to work and like where you want to work. So currently it's like weekly, and then this is like Google Maps enabled. So okay, so let's say I work at a gym, for example, right? Like I work at Anytime Fitness, or like whatever gym, right? So I can like just put the gym location here. But then like let's say maybe like after I work at the gym, I want to like earn more money, and I have like a run club that I'm like doing on Strava or something. Then I can like put another timing and another location here. So this is to like help coaches earn more, and also cite the demand into the location that they're in. So there is more functionality that we can program here, but for now, this is it, because there's some like technical scaling that we need to do on the back end in order to make this more like comprehensive. So like basically like what we envisage, right, is that like let's say you coach here, right? So let's say you coach like in I don't know a place, and then you're like, oh okay, I have to like travel like really really far to coach this person, but then like they're willing to pay for like my travel and like like my revenue loss and stuff like that. So we are working on that, but it's technically very uh complicated, and there's also like different permissions that we need to get like from different services and like Google and stuff. So we are yeah, it's like it'll be coming soon, but like not right now. But basically, if you enter here, right, then we have your information. Then we know like okay where you are and where you're going, and then like another thing we want to do is like for example like if you coach at a gym or like in at like a venue, right? So like for a lot of freelance coaches, they're like okay, like I have a training from like 10 to 12, right? So like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then I'm like okay, yeah, I've got 2 hours of work, and then my next session is like say 5 p.m., right? So from like 12 noon to 5 p.m., I don't really have any classes, right? So I have no earnings, but I'm already there, right? I'm not gonna like go home and sleep or whatever and then, like come back, because there's a lot of travel. And then like I don't want to be like sitting around and doing nothing. So like maybe I can offer like like a sale for my time between 12 to 5, and or I can travel somewhere, or I can do something. Yeah, so basically this like scheduling and location thing is important, and we can use it to help you earn more money, but first we need your data. Yeah, so I don't know if I explained it properly, but yeah. Yeah, so then this is the testimonial section, where you like there's like a before and after. So this is probably gonna be like people, but I don't have like before and after pictures of people because I'm not a coach. So I just put like like this like unbranded shuttlecock and like branded shuttlecock, because this is like something we do for like webinar coaches to like like help them brand shuttlecock, so that they can like use the QR code to like sell their like um, uh, business and stuff like that. Yeah. So basically, it has like a testimonial. Then you'd be like, oh, like I was this person, and then I met Coach whatever, and then he helped me do this, and then I'm like super sexy now. Like that kind of thing. Yeah. And then that's the name. Yeah. And then so basically that's the end of it. And then we also have like a mobile view mode. So this mobile view mode is like for you to like put it on your Instagram, on your TikTok or whatever. So it's like a easy way for you to like explain who you are and for them to like book your service like online. Yeah, and it has all the functionalities that we spoke about, but it's like squished into like a little like mobile section. Yeah. So yeah, so this is what you'll be paying for. And there's like a free version and like a paid version, and then the paid version is indexed in Google, so it like turns up on search very easily. And the free version is not indexed, but you still get like like all of almost all of this. Yeah, like most of it are just you like cannot upload like super big files and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So if this is something you're looking for, yeah, okay. So there's this thing called a neural assistant. It's like what we're trying to do is like we're trying to create like an AI plan that's like training and diet based for the client, and then like the coach will like give their contextualized local like insights into like what can be done, because the AI is going to be like, oh, like, oh, this is your calorie deficit, or this is your macros, and then you need more protein, and you need to reduce your fat, blah blah blah, this is your whatever. But then like the truth of the matter is like they're not going to be a bit like, okay, yeah, lassi lemak is good for you. Like the AI doesn't know what lassi lemak does. And then also like if they scan the lassi lemak, right, how they know how much sugar is in the sauce? Like, yeah, so a lot of this is contextualized, but we put this like neural assistant here because like we want to create like a AI like training diet plan as a baseline, and then we want to be like, hey, the coach knows lah. I mean, like, what does the computer know about nasi lemak? Like, yeah. So yeah, so this is a coming soon feature. It's not like a here feature, but then we just like put it here because people click on it and be like, hey, oh, what is this? Yeah. So um yeah, but essentially like we want to use AI to take the pain of programming and like nagging and stuff like that out of coaching, and then like you just do what you do best, help people be better. Yeah, so that's kind of like what we're doing with this. So hopefully you like what you see, and if you do, yeah, please follow us on YouTube, and like maybe sign up for a profile if you like. And if you're not, if you're like maybe not so ready to pay, then you can just sign up for the free version. Okay, so like in the next video, we will talk about the plans and like how to pay and like blah 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 blah. Okay, bye.